Welcome to Transform Relationships podcast, sharing with you authentic and relatable conversations on the ups and downs, the ins and outs on all things relationships. Hi there, I'm your host, Diane Rooker. I'm a psychotherapist, a counsellor and a hypnotherapist. I work in private practice and I specialise in working with marriage and relationships. Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you're having an awesome day, whatever you're doing, whether you're out walking at the beach or for me it's a cold and rainy day today. Not too cold actually, but it is raining. It's been raining most of the week here in Brisbane, which has been delightful. Had to wash the dog again last night, but anyway, that's what we do, don't we? We still need to keep on doing life. So thank you for joining me today for podcast number 4. Last podcast number 3, we spoke about effective communication. So I'm just going through the pillars to having a beautiful relationship with your partner. So there's 5 pillars. And today I'm going to be talking about pillar number 2, which is responsibility. So I hope you enjoy what I have to say, and I hope you can take out some little pearls of wisdom and that you may be able to apply them to your relationship. So anyway, let's see how we go. Let's get started. They're not too long, which I think is really great because, you don't want to get bored. And really, we just want to get to the point. So hopefully you enjoy it. So let's get started. Second pillar is responsibility. Now, being responsible, applies to so many aspects of a certain life. Being a student, being a parent, being a child, an employee. But today I want to talk about the responsibilities that applies to you personally and in your relationships, as they're just, one can't go without the other. So I love the saying that you are responsible for the energy that you bring into the room. And I really applaud that and really resonate with that. So just say when a person becomes angry. So we get anger within us and it can really affect how we treat our partner. If we're feeling crappy, then we're probably going to treat our partner crappy. So we can be quick to make a negative comment towards them. And this is not taking responsibility. And that's where you need to be responsible for how you're feeling, for what's going on. So many times, I work with clients and they say, well, she made me angry or he made me angry. You upset me. I wouldn't have done that if you didn't do this. Well, I only did this because last week you did that. That's not really taking responsibility, is it? So no one can make me feel anything. If I feel hurt, it's because I'm feeling hurt. That's my responsibility. No one can hurt me. That's my job. If you're upset, it's what you're attaching to the situation, or it's what you're attaching to what's happened previously and you're bringing into the new situation. It's what you are thinking about. It's what you've been triggered about. So a saying that I often share with my clients is, no one can hurt me, that's my job. Which I just said before, but I want to say it again because this is really important. No one can hurt me, that's my job. If you call me a name and I get hurt, it's because what I've attached to it. And part of me might believe it. And it's my own perception. Responsibility can be applied to many aspects of a relationship. It's about being responsible for your own needs and to know what your partner's needs are. I just want to talk a little bit here about needs because needs in all aspects of our lives are very, very, very important. And this is one of the reasons why couples break down, the relationships break down, is because they don't know what their needs are. and they don't know what their partner's needs are, and they don't understand that we all have basic human needs that need to be met. And I don't know if you've heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's like a triangle, and there's 5 different levels. In the bottom, the most basic needs is like air, food, and water. And the top need goes up to the self-actualization. That's when we have all of our other needs met. Now, we won't get to the top of this triangle, the pyramid, if we don't get our needs met. We need to, it's like climbing up the ladder. Once we get them met, then we can go up to the next level. You know, and part of getting needs met is understanding what your own needs are and having some boundaries around them and having a voice about them and letting your partner know what they are. I want to share with you 7 basic relationship needs that are really, really important to having a healthy and happy relationship. The first one is growth. If we are not growing, we are dying. As a person, this applies to a relationship. If the relationship is not growing, then it's dying. So it needs to be growing constantly to survive and to feel alive. We need to grow personally, and then we can bring this into the relationship so the relationship can grow. Number 2 is certainty. In a relationship, we need to feel certain, to be able to trust and to be vulnerable. That this is especially important for women to be vulnerable and to, or for both to be vulnerable. But for a woman to be vulnerable, she needs to trust her man. A woman won't be vulnerable with her man unless she knows for certain that she can trust him. So certainty for both men and women in a relationship is very, very, very important. We need to know that we can rely on our partner. We're going to be certain that they're going to show up. We're going to be certain that they've got our back. We're going to be certain that they're going to do their part in the relationship, that they're going to be active within the relationship for the relationship. That's having certainty. When we're having certainty, we know then we can just relax a little bit. We don't have to be as tense and second guessing and making assumptions. Having certainty in a relationship is extremely important. Number 3, contribution. Contributing in a relationship is so needed, guys. It really is. We can't sit back and not contribute. We need to contribute equally in a relationship, whether it's financially or in and out, in the house, out the house, with needs, with whatever. The contributing is extremely, extremely important. So it's really a partner's responsibility to contribute to their partner's overall health. When we look at the different aspects, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically, we need to contribute. We need to pull our weight. We need to make that effort. Number 4 is importance. Importance, significance. Feeling important and making your partner feel important is very crucial to having a satisfying and happy relationship. When a couple knows that they are extremely important to each other, then their relationship just begins to blossom. There's a feeling of safety in that as well, isn't there? Like, I know that I'm so important. That's awesome. We all need to feel important and significant to the people that we are closest to, especially with our partners. It's so important in a relationship to say, hey, you're really important to me, and to feel important. And not just using words, but by showing it by actions. It's the actions that speak so much louder. This is very lacking in most couples. I know, because I hear it over and over again. I have couples come in to see me and they say, I just don't feel important. He or she does not care about me. So importance is a very important need. Another couple's need is variety. So this is number 5, having variety. This is the spice of life, isn't it, guys? Like, look, bringing something new into the relationship. New experiences, new food, new places, new conversation, new hobbies, new job. This also needs to help the relationship to grow. So just bringing the newness in. It's so exciting. Could you imagine if there's nothing new? It's the same conversation, the same restaurants, the same holidays, the same way you have sex. Boring. What happens when people are bored? What happens when children are bored? What do? They become naughty, don't they? So it can really ruin relationships. But that's effort, isn't it? So having variety. Variety is the spice of life. Number 6 is love. When we first meet, we have a connection. This could happen in the first 5 minutes, or this could happen and develop slowly over time. It could be weeks, months, years, but this is needed to really nurture and develop love within the relationship. When in a relationship, we need to be loved, to be able to express our love to the other and to ourselves. Love is very important. To be in love in a relationship is so, so important, and it is really just a basic human need. Number 7 is intimacy. 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 It's the state of having a close romantic relationship. Close romantic relationship. How's your intimacy going in your relationship? Are you close? Is there romance? Is there sex? Is there satisfaction there? Sex and romance is very important in a relationship. One does not go without the other. Without it, there is a big piece missing, and the couple will never feel whole. And it's almost as if they are living like flatmates. They are friends, hopefully, but they're not intimate together. There's no romance. There's no closeness. There's no intimacy. There's no sex. Sex is very important. And you should never have sex when you don't want to. And for a woman to have sex, she really needs to have that emotional connection outside of the bedroom. So finding the little spark, remembering the spark that you guys had, nurturing it, and in most cases it can be reignited. Okay, so they are the 7 most needs that's required, to have a happy relationship, a satisfying relationship. Another responsibility is triggers and negative behavior. Look at why is this happening? And I can take a guess, based on working with hundreds of people, that there have been some unmet needs somewhere along the way. And that earlier part of ourselves is still unresolved. When a person has become triggered, reactive, they're having a negative reaction. And this response is a subconscious one, which means that the individual usually has no idea why they're reacting this way. And they don't know where it's coming from. And they have no idea how to stop it from happening. They may try and it may resolve for a little bit, but it can soon rear its ugly head again because it's not been resolved properly. This is a trigger response. And because this disturbance usually comes from a past experience, past trauma, that could have occurred in childhood and has not been resolved. There is unfinished business. Another term used is sometimes we call it baggage. It comes from deep within our subconscious, and it's the individual's responsibility to resolve this. And the best and most effective way to do this is at the core level. So the trigger can disappear. This is getting at the trigger. The core level means where it started. Where did it begin? And I do this with my clients in an individual setting using EMI, emotional mind integration, or rapid core healing. This is a fast and effective way to resolve these disturbances within the subconscious. So whatever is unresolved from childhood or from previous relationship will show up again in your current relationship. So it's always good to resolve past issues and hurts, heal them, moving forward to a new relationship without the excess baggage. Being responsible not only for the things that you have done, but the things that have not been done as well. You know, we see, I should have been more responsible for that. So you see something that you know will help your partner, such as, imagine if they're running late and it's their time to cook dinner. You're at home, you're early, you're settled, you have a thought, I could get dinner started. So this is really just an opportunity to help out. But for whatever reason, you don't. And it's those little moments of intuition, of kind thought, that could be a kind action, that make the difference in a relationship. And if you don't proceed with this idea or thought, then you may feel guilty. And what could happen then is you may take it out on your partner, this guilt, because you have this feeling of uncomfortableness now. It's like a consciousness. It's like something telling you to do something, giving you an opportunity to do something. And we don't listen to it, we go against it. So then we feel a little bit uncomfortable. So this is, and then you may take it out on your partner. You might snap at them or whatever, just to release that uncomfortable feeling. And this is too messy in relationship, and this leads to many issues. Just follow your gut or your heart when you see an opportunity to make life easier, to just do something kind to your partner. It's pretty simple really now. Being able to take responsibility within a relationship is a sign of maturity and insightfulness. It's a willingness to be prepared to look more deeply into why you behave the way that you do, and to be willing to say, look, I understand that my behaviour has not been great, and I'm willing to change it for the relationship. If your behaviour is affecting your partner in a negative way, then this will flow onto the relationship in a negative way. And obviously it works vice versa. Let's take a look at some of the benefits of taking responsibility in a relationship. You'll learn who you are and what your needs are. So the clearer you are, the more you can share this with your partner, which will obviously just have positive results because you'll get your needs met. It can help to remove negative behaviours, feelings and emotions that are not serving you or the relationship. It encourages true trust due to transparency. We can learn more about our partners at a very deeper level. We can feel in control of ourselves. We have clearer boundaries, and you put with yourself personally and within the relationship. And you'll also get a higher self-esteem because you feel good about yourself. I'm sure you can add more to the list if you think about it, because obviously all relationships are different. And if responsibility is not taken, then this can lead to disconnection, sadness, confusion. These are all the opposites of the benefits, really. And if a person is not willing to take responsibility in a relationship, really, then maybe they should think about being single, because there is a level of commitment. When we agree to get into a relationship, to say, yeah, I choose to be with you, it's you also choosing to work at the relationship, to be responsible for your partner's needs. And it takes work and effort. And at the end of the day, it can be an absolutely amazing journey with just a little bit of awareness, a little bit of effort, a little bit of kindness. So I hope you have enjoyed this podcast. And I have enjoyed being with you for these 20 odd minutes. Our next podcast that I will be presenting to you, my next podcast, I should say, that I would be presenting to you, is the next pillar, which is the third pillar of understanding and acceptance. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Take care until next time. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to this episode of Transform Relationships podcast. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to sharing some more time with you again soon. Bye for now.